Hello, hello. Is there anybody there? Always the big question. I shall rattle on in any case. Please say hi if you're there. So, Janet from Tribe Sober here, and I just wanted to jump on live because tomorrow is a special day for us. Tomorrow is the first day of our annual 66-day alcohol-free challenge, which is called hashtag Sober66. It used to be called Sober Spring, but then we got so many overseas people joining it, and it wasn't spring where they were at all. So we decided this year we were going to rebrand it to hashtag Sober66. And I'm still getting used to saying that, but I think I'm nearly there. So it's lovely to hop back on this group. We had such fun on here when we did the Sober Sprint together from the 1st to the 5th of August. That was a 5-day sprint. And now we're proposing a marathon, a 66-day sprint, a long one, but bear with me because it doesn't have to be 66 days. It can be a number of smaller sprints if that's where you're at the moment. We don't want to overwhelm you with a big objective, but just have a listen and see how you feel. So do comment if you're watching this and if you did the sprint, or tell me where you're from and I'll look at the comments a little bit later. So why 66 days? I get asked that a lot. Well, there is some proper science behind that 66 days. 66 days is how long it takes to change a habit. So if you can get through 66 days or most of 66 days, the science says that even if you have a tiny little blip, then it will still work. You can create a new neural pathway. So that means that if you want to quit drinking, yes, do it. Or if you want to cut down, say you want to drink within the low risk limits, which are a bottle and a half of wine a week. If you want to drink within those limits, give it a try. Then it's a way to reset your habits. It's like resetting it to zero, and you've got a much better chance of moderating if you've got a period of abstinence first. But of course, if you've crossed the line, if you're like me and you were drinking a bottle of wine a night for years, then the chances are that you're already dependent and you'll never be able to drink within those limits. But perhaps, you're still early on in your journey and there might be a chance that you can drink moderately. But whatever you do, take these 66 days off and then see what happens. The chances are you'll feel so great that you won't want to drink again. So how does the challenge work? Well, we offer lots of support. We offer 3 types of support. The most important bit of the support, in my opinion, is the community support, because connection is the opposite of addiction. And what we do is we put you in a group of people. I've just checked now and we've got about 70 people going through this challenge. So they're all moving through it together, so they encourage people, and you see these messages about people having cravings or maybe people having a slip up, and everybody piles in with their advice and their tips, and if people are doing well, they share their joy, and it's great fun. It really is. It's busy, from morning to night, well, all night sometimes, because of course we've got people on all kinds of time zones. So the community support is just fantastic. We call it our sober bus. So that sober bus is a very cool place to be. The other support consists of online support. So every day you will get an email which is full of tips, tools, inspiration, just kind of bite-sized piece of information, nothing too hectic, but just something to read and think about. And we're very keen on mindset at Tribe Sober. We want you to see alcohol a little bit differently at the end of this challenge. So plenty of support coming your way. And the third type of support is podcasts. I hope that you've discovered our weekly podcast, which is an hour-long podcast, just called Tribe Sober. It's on Apple or Spotify. Well, especially for the challenge, we've created 66 mini podcasts. They're just 5 minutes long. Listen to them before you go to sleep, and they'll sink into your subconscious. And what they'll do is explain how your body and brain is cleansing as you go through the journey. It'll talk about the changes taking place. So that's the support, community online audio. So that's how it all works. Let me see if I've got any comments. No, not yet. Oh well, I'll be patient. People will just have to watch this later, I guess. Probably 5 o'clock. You're all at work. I don't know. So that's how the challenge works. Now let's look at why you should do the challenge, because you might be thinking, well, that's all quite interesting, but why would I want to go without alcohol for 66 days? Is this woman mad? That's what I would have thought a few years ago. So let me take you through 6 reasons. I could actually give you 26, but I'm going to confine myself to 6 because I don't want to be talking all afternoon. So let me start with the big one. The big one, of course, is health. I think we all know, don't we, these days, that alcohol is pretty toxic. I've just been reading something that in Canada they've reduced the recommended limits, the low risk limits, to just 2 drinks a week. I mean, that is radical, isn't it? That's more like it. These 14 units a week, it's too much. So health, alcohol is so toxic that just 1 month off the booze will improve your health dramatically. So 2 months, 66 days, big effect. Let's just pick on the liver as the obvious place. Surely your liver needs a holiday now and again. Your liver fat will be reduced, the liver stiffness will be reduced. Both of those are precursors to liver disease. We all know about cirrhosis, and our livers can just about function with some scarring, but if they have a lot of scarring, then they turn cirrhotic and then they don't work at all. So we need to treat our livers with respect. And the good news about liver is that it's really resilient. You just stop poisoning it and it will recover. The second thing about health that's interesting is blood pressure. Your blood pressure will reduce, and we all know, don't we, that high blood pressure is going to lead to strokes, to heart disease, to heart attacks. You don't want to be walking around with high blood pressure. That's why when you go to the doctor for a checkup, the first thing he does is take your blood pressure. It's important. And gut health, your digestion will improve dramatically. And did you know that when you drink alcohol, your body reacts to it as if it's a poison, as if it's a disease? I mean, it is a poison, but your body thinks it's a disease. So all your immune system gets fired up, your body goes into inflammation as it fights, against this poison. So you don't want your immune system to be occupied with fighting alcohol. You want your immune system to do its job, which basically is to keep you safe from things like COVID. We've all had a lesson, haven't we, on how dangerous it can be when our immune system is compromised. And of course, I guess I should mention that alcohol is now linked. There's evidence linking it to 7 different types of cancer and 60 diseases. So that's the heavy one. Let me go on to something a bit lighter now. After 66 days without alcohol, your looks will improve, because did you know that every glass of wine that you drink, it robs your system of 4 glasses of water? So it really dehydrates you. So someone like me that was drinking at least a bottle of wine a night for decades, I must have been like a little old prune inside. But when you stop, quite quickly, the moisture comes back, and you can see it within days in your skin. Your skin will plump up, your skin will clear. I used to have really red cheeks, and I was always plastering makeup on them to cover them up. But and your eyes will look brighter very quickly. You'll look better. And I was talking to a lady this week who said that she kept getting compliments on her hair in early sobriety, and she hadn't changed a thing about her hair, but the condition of it was so much better. So that's a new one I didn't know about hair. And of course, the weight, I mean, alcohol is full of sugar. After a few drinks, we start snacking because we don't really care about that boring old diet anymore, do we? After a few glasses of wine, so we start snacking. And also, your body won't start burning calories from wine, calories from food, until it's metabolized the alcohol, because alcohol is toxic and your body wants it out of the system. So, better skin and lose some weight. Sleep. If you're a drinker, you're going to get about 2 cycles of REM sleep a night. You need 7. REM sleep, I'm sure you know, that's the deep, restful sleep where we dream, and that's what refreshes us and gives us energy, our energy back. But if we don't get enough of that, we feel constantly tired, and that fatigue builds up until we're tired all the time. And that's certainly how I felt, after years of drinking. But once you quit the booze, you get your energy back. And it's wonderful when you start sleeping like a baby and you don't wake up at 3 a.m. thinking, oh my God, I feel so anxious. And what did I say last night? What did I do last night? That doesn't happen anymore. So sleep, get some rest. Use these 66 days to get some proper rest. Mental health. Drinking alcohol is like pouring gasoline on your anxiety. It flares up, it gets much worse. Quit drinking for 66 days and you'll feel calmer. You really will. The mental health will improve dramatically. I've coached people through their sobriety, in early sobriety, to keep them on track. And quite a few of these people have been in therapy for years about their anxiety. But once they've got through 3-4 months without alcohol, the anxiety has kind of melted away and they don't have to go to therapy anymore. So that's pretty cool. Neural pathways. You can build a new habit in 66 days. You're building a new neural pathway. So if you do want to quit or if you want to cut down, it'll be so much easier after 66 days. Number 6, we call it the domino effect. Once you've gone through 66 alcohol-free days, you'll feel quite different. You'll have your energy back, you'll have your creativity back, you'll be full of ideas, and you'll start reflecting on other parts of your life. You'll think, maybe I should change my eating plan. Maybe I should take up a new type of exercise. Maybe I should make a new bunch of friends, or maybe I should take up a new hobby, or go sign up for a course. You'll start having ideas. And that's why we call it the domino effect, because you've got a row of dominoes and one of them falls, that's the alcohol. It affects all of these other things. You just start wanting to make big changes. I know people have changed their relationships, their jobs, their whole life, basically, for the better. So that's what we call the domino effect. So that's 6 quick reasons. I could give you many more, and we've got endless blogs and stuff on our website that you can read. So if you'd like to give the challenge a whirl, just go to trysober.com and hit hashtag sober66. You'll find all the information there. We also give you a tracker. So it's quite a kind of low-tech tracker. I mean, we've all got trackers on our phones these days. But this is something that you print out, and it's got 66 little squares. And the idea is that you colour in each alcohol-free square. And it helps you to keep an eye on the big picture. And if you do have a little slip up, then mark it on the tracker and just get right back on the bus, and you might find that you can't manage 66 days, but you manage, say, I don't know, 10 stretches of 4 or 5 days. And, you know, that's fantastic. We always say progress, not perfection, early on in this journey. So don't be daunted if you think, I could never do 66 days. Just give this thing a whirl and see how many days you can do out of 66. You know, even if you get 30 out of 66, maybe you wouldn't have got 30 sober days before. So just give it a try. You've got absolutely nothing to lose and so much to gain. And actually, there's a few more reasons I just jotted down, just kind of big picture things. 66 days, it's long enough to get some real benefits, because so many of us do like the dry January thing, don't we? And I used to do that all the time to convince myself that I didn't have a problem, but I was just white knuckling it. And by the time I got into February, you know, I was drinking twice as much almost to compensate. But 30 days isn't enough to really experience the benefits of sobriety, but 66 days is. You start feeling quite different. You know, the anxiety melts away, you get your energy back, your mindset starts changing. So 66 days is a fantastic chunk of time to try sobriety. I mean, again, the dry January thing, the way that I used to do it, because I saw it as a trial, really. So my subconscious was absorbing the fact that, oh, sobriety, it's so tough and it's difficult and it's really grim. And but once you've managed sobriety for 2 months, you're feeling different, and your subconscious will start registering that, oh, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe we should give this a real try. And it's also long enough to go from merely motivated to inspired. Now, if you don't know the difference between being motivated and inspired, then let me explain a bit. People that kind of come to Tribe Sober to start to try this alcohol-free journey, they come for a variety of reasons. Often their doctors tell them, you know, they've got real health issues and they've got to stop. Maybe their husband's going to ditch them if they don't sort themselves out. Maybe their kids are moaning. Maybe they're about to lose their job. Or maybe they just, you know, want to feel better, want to feel like their old selves again. So people come for various reasons. So when they start on the journey, they are motivated. There is a reason driving this change. But once you get to 66 days, you start to feel so good that then you're not just motivated, you're inspired. And that means that you want to do it, you know, and you're feeling the benefits. The motivation is intrinsic rather than extrinsic. So you really want this thing. And that's different. That's when it starts falling into place and getting easier. So 66 days is long enough to get to being inspired. So I think that's quite enough from me. Just one last thing to mention. We've been running a deal throughout the whole of August, and August will be over in a few hours. Can you believe it? September already. And we've been offering a free Sober 66 challenge to anyone that signs up to Tribe Sober for an annual membership. And signing up for an annual membership as opposed to paying monthly, that shows real commitment. It means, I'm really going to give this thing a shot. So maybe think about that, you know, think about signing up for a year and then you get your challenge absolutely free. And you'll be in a different place this time next year. So I think that's quite enough from me. I'm going now. Any comments? Well, at least there's 3 people there. Can't see any comments. So that's awesome. I'll see you all on the challenge on the Sober Bus. Bye bye. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is where you are.